I'm like of the belief, if you're unhappy in your job, then go. Just go. Like, I think that's part of it too, is that don't spend your whole life doing something that makes you miserable. And I probably have said this a million times that some of the best decisions I've ever made in my life were not accepting a new job. It was actually leaving one. It was actually saying like, "Hey, this is something that's better for me to kind of go through this process." So I think a lot of times, kind of the idea of like failure before success, that we feel like, oh, we like let down people, like we let down kids. But if you're in a space where you're not happy, that's going to translate to your students. That's going to translate to the people around you, and that's where a lot of the issues come from. So that's why I was like really interested in kind of digging more into what you're doing, because I think there is like, even when we were, I don't know, this has been something to share, like this generation, and I don't know if I'm Gen Z or millennial, or I don't even know what I am. I'm like kind of wherever. Like, they're gonna have way more careers than the generation previously. So I don't see it as a negative. I see it as, I think it's actually it's a good thing that we have, and you have a lot of educators who have amazing skills that translate outside of education as well. So like, how are you, like, is that something you're seeing too? Is that some of the things that they've done really well in education have actually led to some of these new opportunities?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I agree with what you're saying. You know how it is if you've been on a PLC and you've got somebody that's not enjoying the work anymore, is burned out, or whatever the case may be, it can soil and sully the experience of all the other teachers and your attitude and your morale. So I do agree with you that it's best to try something different, whether it's for a
Mhm.
while, or education will probably be there to welcome you back later. And that's been a huge issue for me as someone that does coach teachers that are transitioning, is that they do need to understand that they are very marketable.
Mhm.
We think, because this is the way we do things in the education space, that you need to have a degree that is suited to the role, and then someone's going to look at your resume and say, oh, they're checking all of the boxes
Mhm.
and they've got the skills clearly because they've done this before and they've got this degree, and I want to hire them. And that's not the case. What you want to do is figure out what the employer's problem is, and then demonstrate, almost as a sales endeavor, that
Mhm.
you are the solution to their problems. And let me tell you, employers need people with communication skills. That's number one. And I hear this over and over because I talk to recruiters and I talk to hiring managers, and they need people that can present, and they need people that can lead meetings, and they need people that know how to create written communication for a variety of audiences. These are the things that we're doing without even realizing it in as educators. But I think there are other soft skills too that we don't recognize always. And one of those that's really key is empathy. And teachers have this in, multitudes. That's that ability to understand where people are and meet them where they are, and to have people feel felt so that they're more apt to respond to you. And that is invaluable in the workplace, but especially as we're talking about these 21st century careers, and we're in the tech space increasingly. When we thought, as educators, we never thought that we were, in the tech space, but increasingly it's really saturated with tech, right? And needs people that are
Mhm.
proficient in tech. Wasn't that way when I was teaching, even 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And so if you can demonstrate that you've got that ability to listen, with empathy, and to understand someone else, that's something that tech product designers need. They want to understand, how someone's going to use a product or use a piece of software, and that's something that we're really great at.